What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the TSLP, the Southern Lure Podcast. Guys, the long-awaited break is now over. Chandler, aka Griffin, and I'm Zuggy. That is Chandler, and we are back from the long-awaited break. Guys, Chandler and I are hyped to be starting the Southern Lure Podcast again. Guys, we have been growing our YouTube channels and our TikTok accounts. Make sure you guys go follow us. I'm at Zuggy Fishing on all platforms, and Chandler's at Griffin Fishing on all platforms as well. Guys, go subscribe to his YouTube channel. He just started up, already at 200 subscribers. So go subscribe to his channel right now. It's going to be awesome stuff. But guys, I am super hyped for today's episode. One of the most crazy episodes we've had. We have an insane guest on today. He goes by Fishing with Norm on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. So, Griff, why don't you take us away?
Yo, what's up, guys? It is great to be back. Guys, today we have a really special episode for y'all, and you know what? It's been in the talks for a long while, but guys, we got Fishing with Norm up in here today.
Y'all, super hyped for Norm joining the podcast today. But yeah, so Norm's an awesome fishing content creator. Lined up right now. Norm, are you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, what's up, Norm? How are you?
My bad. I didn't know if I was supposed to join now or later.
All good, bro.
I just saw the link and I didn't know if I was testing it to see if it worked, and then all of a sudden I was here. So sorry about that. I'll let you guys run your thing if you guys need to.
No, dude, you're all good. But we appreciate you joining the podcast today.
Yeah, of course. Thanks for having me. This will be fun, I think. I'm excited for I don't get to do podcasts too often. I've only done 2 of them. So I'm excited.
That's sick. I mean, guys, this is Fishing with Norm. If you guys don't know him, he has 220,000 subs on YouTube, nearly 49,000 followers on Instagram. It's absolutely nuts and big inspiration, big entertainer throughout the fishing industry, YouTube, social media world. So, Norm, we appreciate you joining today. We love your stuff, and our audience loves your stuff as well. So how's it been? How's it been in the recent works? And just how's it been?
It's been good, dude. That was a crazy introduction. That was crazy. But I mean, it's been pretty awesome. We've been filming we decided to do Vlogmas this year.
Right.
So that has been crazy, obviously.
Right.
Every morning hour filming fishing videos or coming up with ideas of things to do. And then as soon as the sun goes down, it's kind of just editing hours.
Right.
Wake up and do the same thing every single day. But it's been a great time. It's been a fun challenge too, because we get to kind of try to figure out, something new and exciting to do every single day. So
yeah, that's
got
awesome.
me really motivated.
Yeah, that's sick. I mean, so I want to get a little bit to, your early career, being, a content creator / fisherman. So to start it off kind of bland, what got you into fishing initially?
Do you want a long version or a 30-second recap? Because I could do either.
Let's go with the medium. How about that?
The medium? All right. So how I got started fishing. So we're going to do short story long here. Anyways, said it oppositely. It was a joke. I realize the camera is on me right now, so my jokes might not be as funny. Anywho, so I started fishing my junior year of high school. My sophomore year of high school, I played football and soccer. I tore my meniscus in my knee my sophomore year. So I wasn't able to keep up as quick on my feet and I played a forward in soccer. Didn't make the team junior year, but we had a fishing team that just started up. Wow. And I was naturally super competitive. So from that, I just started fishing a couple tournaments junior and senior year. Every day after school, I would just, after homework was done, go fishing. We actually go night fishing a lot too. And my buddy just took me to the pond one day, the first day I fished, and there's a lake across the street from my parents' house. I had no clue that there was even fish that swam in lakes. At a junior in high school, only thought that there was catchable fish in the ocean. I had zero clue. A worm, instantly caught probably like a 3-pound bass.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, dude, what the heck? So I saw that. He taught me like how to use a bait caster, which took me like a year to learn, probably like how to like efficiently use that.
Right.
But from there, like every single day after school, because I couldn't do anything else, like I still like played soccer, but not for my high school team.
Right.
It was kind of like a fun thing. I slowly started getting into like competitive fishing,
Right.
and that's where like my passion for fishing kind of started.
Wow, that's interesting.
Wow, dude. Well, hey, man. You started out fishing. When was the like? When did you say you started out fishing?
Well,
like,
probably
how old
like
were you?
16, but like maybe me and my dad like once or twice a year would go saltwater fishing. Like when we go camping all the time. So a lot of times we camp like at Cape Sandblast, and we go catch like redfish and trout.
Right.
And I really enjoyed that, but it wasn't like a true passion to where I wanted to do it every day. Probably till like 16 or 17 when kind of soccer and football stopped becoming a thing. And then it was like fishing. And then all my friends really enjoyed fishing too. So it just made it enjoyable. Like it's all we would do was just go fishing. If it was 2 a.m. and we were awake, we were out there throwing buzz baits on top of the water at the lake.
Right.
Like, all we did was fish.
Yeah. Yeah, we've asked a lot of people this same question. I know back in the day, is that you still had the same energy, you still have the same adrenaline, but in all reality, is it all about, making the content, or is it still really fun for you to keep going out and fishing every day?
I'd say it's both. I think kind of like answering a completely different question, like of maybe to do YouTube and fishing. It was like I always knew I had a passion for like making. And for a while, a lot of people probably don't know this, I used to like do these Call of Duty tournaments. Like I was extremely good at Call of Duty.
Oh, wow.
And fishing actually got me like outside, and I knew I wanted to do YouTube, and I had watched the Guggen Squad. I saw some of those guys doing it, and I was like, there's no reason why, like, I can't give this a shot and see.
Right.
Because I already enjoyed fishing more than I did playing video games, and it gave me an excuse to like get outside, hang out with friends. And it was naturally like competitive at the time. Now I just do it more or less for fun. But fishing tournaments back then, I enjoyed the competition. So that's kind of how the whole YouTube and fishing combined into one.
That's awesome. That's really interesting. Not a lot of people would know, about the Call of Duty and things like that. But, that's pretty cool. But so a question that I've always wanted to know, and I'm sure a lot of other people, and maybe this question I'm about to ask is applicable to other people's lives. So you being a content creator on YouTube and deciding whether to continue your education or commit to YouTube full time, what was the decision process? How did you decide to put all your marbles in YouTube and to stop the education and go at this full time?
That's an awesome question, dude. Even people in my own life, like my friends who are either still in school or going to or getting like a 9-to-5 job right now,
right,
always ask me like, kind of, how did you decide that it was the right path for you? And that's like the one thing I want to say before I kind of go into this is everybody's path is different, and sometimes college is really right for somebody, and they really want to be that doctor, they really want to be a firefighter, a police officer, whatever they want to be. And if school's the correct path, I would highly recommend doing that. But for me, it was kind of graduating high school. I feel like a lot of people, when they're graduating high school, all of a sudden you're supposed to go to college for 4 years and get a full-time job, and it kind of life hits you like really quick. And for me, I got my AA degree at TCC, which is right next to FSU. And after the 2 years of going through college, I would sit there in class, and this is for me, I felt like I was wasting a lot of my time. I was sitting in there with 80 other students, and I was like, what advantage am I getting over the 80 other kids in this class learning the same exact thing as me that they've been teaching for 50 years? And for me personally, I just couldn't get my head over that, and I always wanted to find a cool, weird way to work every single day. And I highly recommend, if you know that it'll work, you have to kind of realized that instead of working 40 hours a week, if you want to make anything that's a hobby, an actual job, you're going to be working 80 hours a week. So I always kind of remind myself, like, I don't have to go to a 9-to-5 job because I work twice as much as a person at a 9-to-5 job would work. So
Interesting.
yeah,
Dude, that's a very in-depth answer.
I think about it all the time because everybody always asks me. It's kind of weird, like with like my parents and stuff too. At the beginning, that was really tough, because obviously I saw this opportunity and I knew I could do it. And it's one of those things where people around you don't think you can do it because it's just so weird to think like, oh, you're going to go fish and film yourself and make money. Like that doesn't. And a lot of people still don't get it, which is actually perfect because then there's less fishing YouTubers, which means less competition. So it's funny how that works. But it was like, I don't know. Do you guys watch Gary Vee at all?
Yeah, I love Gary Vee. He's one of my inspirations.
So I did all of this and then later on watched Gary Vee and it really like, I realized like, oh, that's exactly what I was thinking, but I did it before I watched him. But it kind of like, I don't know. That's a good guy to listen to.
That makes sense.
But I don't know. It was weird with my parents because they're both doctors. In my school, I had covered with scholarships, and also they had 2 years of prepaid college for me because they had saved up and worked hard to send me to college. So it was really, really weird for me to tell them like I'm not going to college after 2 years. So like 6 months after that. It was like, it wasn't rough, but I would say, and I think they'd agree that the relationship probably wasn't the best. But after they saw I was working and doing my passion, and then eventually they saw the checks coming in, and then now our relationship's better than ever. And I think a lot of people are kind of stuck in that situation where their parents want them to pursue one thing, to pursue a different thing. And as long as you know you can do it and you're prepared to work 3 times harder than everybody else, I would always recommend, maybe not having the best relationship for 6 months or a year to work for, because you only have one life at the end of the day. So live how you want to live. And eventually they'll come back around and be proud. And now my dad every single day is like telling me all about like, you should go fishing here next and do this. And now I think it's super cool. I mean, it makes complete sense. Like your kid just says, I want to go make fishing YouTube videos. And you're like, what the heck? I thought you were going to be a doctor your whole life or something like that. It kind of just, it's crazy. But I don't recommend people not doing college if they don't have a plan and they're not going to work towards their plan. You kind of have to cut out hanging out with friends, like any normal human activity, like going to the movies, everything. It has to be 100% driven focus. But anyways, I probably took way too long on that question. My bad. My brain's all over the place.
That actually helped me a lot.
Even remember because it all was just like that whole like 2 years of my life was just a blur. But I'm pretty sure as soon as I was not going to college anymore, every single bill I had to pay. So even to rewind a few years back, like when I was your age and a junior in high school, I was working 40 hours a week at Zaxby's. Manager there saved up all my money, never spent a dime besides on gas. No, I never bought even like nice fishing lures, nice fishing rods and reels. I literally saved every single dime up, and my goal was to buy a truck, which is a truck I have now. But after 2 solid years of work, I saved up, I think, like $19,000. Obviously, because I'm making like $10, $11 an hour. And I spent $13,000 on my truck. 6,000 or so left over. And from there, after I told them I wasn't going to college anymore, all of a sudden I had to pay. I already had paid for my whole truck, but I had to pay for cell phone bill, electricity, rent, like every single bill that you could think of, I had to pay for. So that $6,000 disappeared really quick. And luckily, just it's pure luck. Right around when I was maybe at $100 in my banking, the summer wave hit of 2018, and I started making a lot of money on, or not a lot of money, but enough money to maintain my lifestyle throughout the summer, and then I was able to pay my bills. But if I hadn't got this one ad, remember it was the Raid Shadow Legends. They paid me. I had to do it because if I didn't, I would have to ask my parents for money, and I wouldn't be able to pay my rent, or I'd have to go get a loan. And that was that was the point right there. I'll never forget that month. I looked in my account, I had like $2. And this is after I had already been working, doing school full time, and it was right there. And after that, I just got really lucky at that point in time, and I started making enough money to where it worked. But it was never like on my YouTube, I always try to show the happy moments because I feel like spreading a positive message. I don't want to post like videos and not be happy, because I feel like a lot of times people come to my videos to escape whatever's going on in their lives, and they know like when they click on a Fishing with Norm video, they're going to be happy for 10 to 20 minutes. Really, this is cool that I actually get to do this podcast because I kind of get to talk about it because I've always wanted to. Yeah. But it was super times. So, and I was super frugal with my money. And it's just right place, right time. Luckily, I had a viral video hit, and a sponsorship came through that paid for my rent, and then from there, I haven't really had to look back. But if it was 1 month later that YouTube video took off, I might not even be making YouTube videos. I might still be working at Zaxby's or had to go get another job. So,
oh man, dude, that's amazing. That's an amazing. That's crazy. That's an amazing story. But dude, I am seeing you. You're doing that 30-day YouTube upload. You know, like a whole month. And I just started my YouTube, and I have 200 subscribers, and it's even hard for me to do it once a week. And so, I mean, how hard is it for you to do it every day? I mean, are you having to edit every video each day and go over that? I mean,
so when I decided October or so that I was going to do these daily uploads. So actually, funny story. The guy, I quit Zaxby's, worked at Chick-fil-A, and that's how I built up that money to buy my truck and kind of have a little bit of extra. Give myself a safe 3 to 6 months to try YouTube before I ran out of money. But the guy I worked with at Chick-fil-A was a foreign exchange student from Germany. And he worked in the front, and I worked in the back, and I just made the chicken and stuff like that. And he's lived in Germany now for 2 years past that. When I knew him, and I saw one of his Instagram videos of him just making a music video. He works with a lot of the artists over there in Germany. And I messaged him, and he wanted to come see his family here in the United States. So we ended up working a deal out to fly him over. And now me and him have kind of been every single day, literally when the sun rises, the sun sets, we're filming something. So it was kind of pre-planned that we were going to do the 30-day challenge. But right now we're only 2 videos ahead. So it's it's crunch time for sure. But it's oh boy. I guess we just wake up and we just go. That's kind of how it happens. I try to come up with different things than other fishing YouTubers do just to keep myself entertained. Create, as a content creator, you always want to create something new and different than everybody else in the same niche. Do that way people will want to come click on your videos, because there's only so many times you can do the same thing over and over again. But the daily videos have been crazy to say the least. We've been already all over all these different states, and that's some people don't realize that we have to drive 6 to 7 hours just for one video, or we'll film the one we just uploaded went 3 hours to go to this tackle shop, and then we went 7 hours back to go fishing. And it's just I almost think it's cool not to put that too much of that in the video and to complain about it, because it's almost dang, he just went 11 hours, didn't even mention it, and now he's just here fishing. It kind of makes it cool. Yeah, at least in my opinion, I guess.
I mean, no, 100%. I feel that. I want to go back before we get into more of the content creation type stuff. I want to go back to the more you talked about how you always try to portray a positive message in your videos. And I think that's so important whether, no matter what type of content creator you are. In my videos, my motto of my YouTube channel and my TikTok and all that is be positive, just fish. And a big thing with it, my story, I was in the hospital for a long time. A bunch of stuff happened. And basically, what saved me is positivity and hope and love and confidence. And, it's so important to bring that to other people because, one, you don't know what they're going through. And, your impact could be so great on them that they could be struggling so hard in their life right now that they're up to their last limb. And if they see your video and it somehow brightens their day to motivate them somehow or say everything is okay or even put a smile on their face, you've done your job. And I feel like that's what you've done a lot. And that's awesome. So talk to us a little bit about how the positivity motivation.
I appreciate it, dude. Like, for everything. I actually, like, I don't even think I told you, like, I've seen your stuff all over TikTok. So I'd even, like, heard
Oh
your
yeah.
story. Like, you and Larry, he's actually at my house right now. He's upstairs. But
Oh, cool.
I'd seen your stuff all over TikTok. So I just want to say keep that up. And that's super smart of you to take advantage of TikTok and be able to
Right.
use that as that's a whole nother discussion. But what was the original question again? My
Right.
bad. It's been a long day. So how did I?
So like what is your drive behind putting positive vibes in your videos, and what do you want it to overall do in the long run?
Okay, yeah, I remember, like, as a kid, I used to watch a ton of YouTubers, and it made me happy. And I remember
Right.
wanting to be a YouTuber and make other people happy. And at the time, I didn't know what was fishing. I wasn't even fishing
Yep.
at the time. I just kind of knew from, like, even middle school watching it. I was like, I want to do that one day. We actually had a conversation about it. Me and Zayd, my camera guy, were like for an hour on the way down to
Right.
Yak Pack's house like a few days ago. And I was sitting there thinking, like, I've had so many messages on either YouTube comments or on Instagram. The two most recent ones I can remember was like one guy's wife. I'm not going to say his name, but his wife had committed suicide.
Right.
And
Right.
he said the only thing that was kind of getting him through it was he saw one of my videos, enjoyed the positive attitude and aspect towards life. And now he goes out fishing, and that's like the thing that can help him distract himself. And I think another kid
Wow.
just lost his mom and had messaged me. And like, that's just this week of what people are even willing to tell me. I know there's probably thousands of stories I don't know about. Of everybody has something going on in their
Right.
life. It's not always all good.
Right.
So I know there's tons of people that have things going on in their lives. So when I go out to film a video, and even when I wake up in the morning and I'm like, I really don't want to go do this today. I want to sleep in. I want to hang out around the house. I kind of remembered like this YouTube thing's for me, but it's also even more so for the people watching. And that kind of gives me like a purpose in life, is to at least know that I'm helping other people.
Exactly.
While I'm doing it. And that's like the whole cool thing about YouTube and social media. But there's
100%.
been many days where I didn't want to have to get up and go fish from sleeping an hour or two or whatever it may be. Or maybe I'm just not super excited about an idea I have and I just want it to be the next day already. But then I remember like somebody could be watching this right now, and probably a few people are watching this, and it's actually going to help their days be better. So it's almost not even about me at this point. It's about everybody who watches my videos. And that's why I always try to be positive. And even if I'm not catching fish, I'll cut the, even though everybody has negative, I'll make sure that I keep the positive stuff in. That way somebody doesn't come to my video expecting to be happy, and then I just make them more upset, if that makes sense.
I got you.
All right, bro. So all of us have influencers. Mine, everybody knows that mine was John B. I grew up watching John B. I didn't have a dad that liked fishing. And my grandpa, he liked bluegill fishing, and I didn't want any part of that. And so I love watching John B. Every time he put out a video, I would learn and go out and fish. And so, Norm, I mean, like, did you have any influencers like that? I know some people was their dad, and others was YouTube creators like you. So did you have anybody that was like, hey, I want to be like them,
I think
or
it
this
was
is
like
who I want to resemble?
I remember like everybody in the Guggen Squad. I remember watching that. I think it was 2016, and being like, dang, it would be cool to do what they do one day. And that was kind of my influence for, I'd say, fishing. And then obviously a ton of other YouTubers that I probably couldn't even remember their names at this point, that I just saw what they were doing. I thought it was so cool that they could go and just do something in a day and make a living off of it. Like, that was so cool to me. But John B was definitely probably one of the fishing-wise, probably one of the big ones. I watched him and Flair a lot, like my junior and senior year of high school. And obviously now I don't watch a lot of it because I'm busy creating it. A few years ago, those were the two. And now, like, actually, me and John B were just talking about, like, yesterday about Pokemon cards. He's like DMing me about which ones to buy and stuff. So it's kind of weird how that happens. Like, you watch somebody and then you work, but once you work to get that point, it's not even really cool anymore because you're like, I do exactly what they do. So, but everybody started at 0 subscribers. So it's kind of in a way, like, the people I've met, I thought back then I would be so excited to meet them, and now it's like, oh, it's another person who does exactly what I do. Like, let's go film or fish or do whatever.
Right. Well, whenever I meet, let's just say fans or whoever, actually, I have a story of somebody that I met at the Tallahassee Mall. That's my Bass Pro Shop. And so whenever I do go back down there, some kid ran up to me and said, "Hey, are you griffin fishing?" And I said, "Yeah, dude." He's like, "Oh, man, I'm so excited to see you," and all that kind of stuff. And I'm like, I always try to stay humble, and I tell this to everybody that I meet. I'm like, "Hey, man, I'm just the same as you. I'm just a regular guy." I said, "I'm not anything special. I'm just doing what I do." And I mean, you can be the same thing. Anybody can go out and do what I do, only if they put their mind to it. And, that's a really big thing, to the people I talk to, because they get so excited. And I'm sure, Zuggy, you have those times, and Norm, you do have those times. But I try to make them know that, hey, I'm just a regular guy. You know what I mean? I'm not somebody special. I'm not, I'm just some guy that goes and does up and creates content. And you can be whatever you want to be. You can be the same type of person, but I would feel like, I kind of humble myself in that way.
Yeah, no, that's sweet.
I feel that. Norm, now when you see a lot of influencers that you've been inspired by, whether it be the Guggen Squad, or those other people, I'm sure you've seen and encountered a lot of hate in some fashion. So how do you deal with that? What advice would you give other, pending comments or people in general about hate, like how to deal with negative comments or, negative messages?
Like, that's I mean, I feel like there's so many cliche answers, like, even like all the questions, but I mean, it's the same answer you'd expect from everybody. It's like, it doesn't matter,
Right?
like, at all. Like,
Right.
It's been like a huge point from like 19 to 22 that I kind of figured out is, no matter what it says about me, as long as I know I'm like morally straight and doing what I love to do,
Right.
I could not care. It could be my friends, my parents. My parents wanted me to do one thing. I said, no, I think you're wrong. And I did my own thing.
Right.
And then it worked. Like, same thing with hate comments and stuff like that. Like, if it's constructive criticism, I'll be like, yeah, maybe I could do that better. Like, that's a good idea. But as far as like straight up hate comments go, there's different type of people in the world, and somebody who can like leave a negative comment is hurting more inside than you could ever even imagine.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think any of you guys are the type of people, nor am I. You'll never see me leave a negative comment on somebody's thing just to bring their day down.
Right.
That really shows the character of that type of person. But that's like a huge key, just a life lesson that I've learned, is really not caring what anybody thinks about you at all.
Exactly.
As long as you know what you're doing is right and we're like 100% correct, just go for it. Just be you. Because 100%. There's 0 people you have to impress. It's your one trip around the sun 100 times. Like, make it the best trip, That was really cheesy, by the way, but I don't know how to say these things, like, not cheesily, but like, I really believe in these things. Like, I live by this day by day. 0 care in the world what people thought. And that's what you have to do if you do something different, because obviously you're going to be weird if you're not doing what everybody else is doing. Like, you're always going to kind of be an outcast, but you just got to accept it. You sit there and think too long about, oh, so-and-so said I wasn't good at this, and you think about it too long, then they're winning and they're getting in your head. It's
Exactly.
and it really has become like a just a whole on like new level of not caring. Like I
100%.
I don't even think I've read a negative comment probably in a year anyways.
Right.
I don't normally like my comment section is like extremely positive. And if somebody says something negative, I can rely on everybody to just flame them in the comments anyways for me, and I don't have to worry about it. But I seriously think because I put positive energy in my videos and, you know, happier fishing videos, that everybody in my comment section is normally happier. And then, of course, there's always there's one or two people maybe, but I can't remember even reading a negative comment in the last year. When I started, there was a lot. Because I wasn't as good at it, and I still have a lot to learn. And it was like I would have made fun of me back then too. Like watching my videos now, I'm like, what was I thinking? But yeah, just don't listen at all.
Yeah,
like, it can even be
I
somebody
feel
super close to you, and even if they're trying to look out for you, if you know what is absolutely best, trust you over anybody.
Right. I mean, yeah, I've had similar experiences. You know, throughout my story, my face doesn't look normal as quote unquote a normal person's would. But even my closest friends that I've had from middle school and elementary school, they abandoned me because I quote unquote looked different than other people and you know, didn't fit in with them anymore.
Then they're not your real friends, or they never were.
Exactly. You know, I realized that after, you know, a big occurrence happened with that. And then I went to TikTok and, you know, same comments, you know, terrible comments about, you know, my physical appearance or whatever. And at first, when I first, you know, created TikTok, it was a initial reaction of, you know, a little hurt inside just because, you know, so new at it. But, you know, now I could care less about whatever any comment says, whether it's about physical appearance, my video, I don't care at all, you know? And I think that I'm sure you can attest to this, you know, you get not used to it, but immune to it as time goes on.
That's perfectly said. Because in the beginning, it would get to me because obviously you don't want anybody saying anything bad about you, but there just becomes a point. Do not care. And like, there was a point where I said, I don't care. And maybe deep down, like 1% of me cared, but there becomes that point where 0.00% of you cares because you're just on to the next day creating cool stuff. And obviously, if you're doing something wrong, if people don't hate what you're doing, because they're going to be jealous of what you're doing. And that's the same thing. And dude, I'm telling you right now, people might be making fun now, but I promise you the same people in high school, the same friends, quote unquote friends, I had the same type of friends. And I was the worst one at fishing in the group. I started my junior year. And a lot of the guys I tried to fish with, which is like another thing I want to say, like if you're better at fishing than your friend, help your friend learn how to fish. Like there's no need to try to flex on your friend for being better at fishing than they are. Try to help them out because that's the whole point of fishing is to have fun. It's not to be better than everybody else unless you're in a tournament. The top 0.01%, which it seems like almost every fisherman thinks that they're in the top 0.01% and they're not. I'm not in the top point. I'm probably not even 8%. Like there's some people who are really good. But yeah, a lot of my friends, I was the worst at fishing in my group by far. My junior year, because I had just started, I threw a Cinco with a spinning rod with like red lightning line. And I'd always try to have them help me, and they never would. And now it's super funny. I'm not going to drop any of their names, but these same guys who would pick fun at me, and like I'd have to like try to force myself to be in the friend group because I want to have friends, but none of them were really my friends. Those same people now are DMing me and saying, "Got to go fishing sometime. Like, let's go." And now it's like I'm telling you, the same people. That's just how life works, dude. Like it really is. It's crazy to see. Like on my it's like probably once or twice a week, people I never talked to in middle school, high school, messaging me saying like, I knew you'd do it. Like it's, it's pretty funny. And it kind of, I don't know. It'll be, I'm telling you, you just keep on doing what you want to do. And the same exact thing will happen where they'll even start to realize like, wow, maybe I shouldn't have been, I don't know. Like, it's just, I could go on for days about that, but yeah.
Well, Norm, you know you're growing like crazy on YouTube, dude. I mean, like I've been watching, and you're just growing like nuts. And so, dude, like, what is your goals for this coming up year? What do you want to achieve
So
for
my
2021?
2021 is basically everything I make. I'm trying to dump back into the video production. I feel
Right.
like right now there's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
motivation lacking in the fishing industry, where there's not too many people doing it, and it seems like it can be done so much better. And I feel like there
Right.
needs to be somebody to path of like the new I did a few years ago. They really just made something crazy, and now it's like everybody's kind of doing the same stuff. But I'm gonna try to
Right.
figure out like how can I make the coolest and most high
Right.
quality and entertaining content I can in 2021, and whether that lands me at 300,000 subs, 500,000, 1,000,000, like I'll be happy. But trying to put a lot of what I make back into the videos, more into traveling, better camera equipment, and just always just like trying to stay passionate about fishing and not getting bored and staying still.
Right. Right. So, dude, like, you and Lojo are the two ones on YouTube that I noticed that do like the craziest challenges. And I mean, like,
Yeah.
you find like a 20-foot rod, and like, who's gonna be fair? I mean, like, who just thinks to go out and just go cast with like a 20-foot rod? I mean, that's crazy, dude. And so, like, do you ever think that you're gonna ever run out of content? I mean, like, is it gonna? Do you think it's gonna get to a point to where like,
Yeah.
okay, these people have already seen this. Like, let's fish with nothing but the same color lizards in different sizes. I mean, like, do you think you're
Fishing
ever going to run out of
challenges,
content?
yeah, but overall videos, no. So I mean,
Yeah, I
there's
agree.
always a new challenge idea,
Mm.
but they get repetitive. But there's so many more things as a fishing creator that maybe like challenges is the trend of the last 5 years, but maybe there's a new trend for the next 5 years where maybe it doesn't have to be challenges. Maybe there's like that none
Right.
of us even know about yet, because 5 years ago none of us even knew fishing YouTubers could be a thing. So the next
Right.
5 years, it could be something completely new, and I'm gonna try to figure out whatever that is as quick as I can. But definitely like fishing challenges, but also I think maybe even like travel videos. I've been thinking about mixing it up and doing like some survival stuff.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
And just trying to
New
outdo
species,
myself
maybe?
every single video.
Yeah, that's sick. Yeah, maybe even like new species, like going to different places, trying to catch some different fish, maybe on weird stuff.
I do want to try
I mean,
that. The peacock bass in the Amazon, they get like 17
mhm.
pounds. That's like my number
Yeah.
one to do list right now.
Yeah, 100%. That's one of my dreams too.
Yeah.
Like the thing I like about, the fishing content creation world is I feel like there's almost endless possibilities because, you have your immediate state or area that you fish. You could think of a lot of challenges for that. But then you got 49 other states
Yep.
and you got a bunch of countries as well with hundreds of thousands, if not million different fish species that you could catch, that you could do something crazy with. Like I feel like there's endless possibilities in terms of content, for fishing content creators. Like, what do you think?
I completely agree. And that's almost like what you have to do is like I live in Tallahassee. I think everybody knows it because I've said it in my videos, so I don't mind saying it. I live in
Right.
Tallahassee, but maybe I'm here 5 days out of the 30 days or 7 days
Right.
out of the 30 days. And then I have to keep myself moving at all times, or else I'll stand still and I'll run out of ideas. But if I'm on the road and I'm like, oh, that looks cool, or maybe I'll be thinking on the drive and then all of a sudden come up with an idea. But yeah, there's a lot more traveling I want to do because I've done a decent amount, but there's so many more fish like you catch, like different species. Travel to, I want to get on the to-do list in maybe the next few months, and
sick.
go do a ton of different fishing because Hawaii actually has the only freshwater lake in the United States that has smallmouth, largemouth, and peacock bass all in the same body of water. Is in
No
Hawaii.
way.
Yeah, it's the only lake that you can catch all three.
Oh
in.
my
Wow.
So you can't do it in the continental.
That would be a
United
sick
States.
video.
So I think that would be super cool. That'd be a fun place to fish.
Yeah, definitely. Now in terms of production quality, I know, you said you wanted to invest more in your videos for the upcoming year and the future. Now, something that a lot of people may have questions about is quality over quantity. Which one do you value more?
Probably quality, I would say.
Quality. Okay.
Well, like for YouTube quality, for TikTok, Instagram, every other, because you could post a 5-second. I did actually post a 5-second video of me looking at a fish and bass pro shops with my cell phone. My first, like, one of my 300,000 views, like zero effort, like zero quality. Like TikTok just decided that it was going to work, but YouTube, it's super important to have people watch your videos for a long amount of time when they click on it, and it's super important for them to come back after they've already watched the video. Like the 3 most important things. You guys are about to get like inside YouTube knowledge here. Like I know anything, but like there's people way, way, way bigger than me, and I'm still trying to learn.
Right.
But number 1 most important thing is click-through rate, so that's title and thumbnail. Number 2 most important thing is view duration. How long? So if you have a 20-minute video, you want them to watch for average to have over 50% view duration. And number 3 is returning viewers. So how many times is, let's say Jimmy's a subscriber, how many times does Jimmy come back to the videos? And those are the 3 things, the 3 most important things that's going to push your YouTube videos to the next level. So that's why I believe quality is so important, because if Jimmy, in this example, watches one of your videos, doesn't like it, maybe even clicks on a second one, doesn't like it, why is he going to go to a third video if he didn't like the first 2? And then you'll never start that snowball of like getting more and more views if people aren't watching them through and coming back to watch more. So, but also don't concern yourself too much with quality, because what you might think is quality, people might not think is quality as well. Because we could, with every video we've uploaded on this daily thing, we spend 2-3 hours editing these videos both at the same time, and we could spend 2 or 3 days and make them full movies. But people find them very high quality, even though we may not think that they're the best. But yeah.
Right. So you live in Florida, and I know a lot of people down there have a hard time with trying to find new bodies of water without getting kicked out. How often is it that you can't find a new body of water, and then when you do, you actually just get kicked out every
Tallahassee,
time? How
I
often
consider
is
myself, I'm like 15 minutes away from Georgia. So I don't even, like, South and Central Florida should be a completely different state.
Right.
Because you said you're in South Georgia, right? You're only an hour away from Tallahassee? Yep. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I'm in South Georgia, right next to Thomasville.
Thomasville sounds very familiar. Yeah, but yeah, no,
don't do that.
Like, so we're only an hour away, whereas Miami's 7 hours away from us. So in Tallahassee, there's not a lot of bodies of water.
Yeah.
So I did the old knocking on the door trick at private ponds until somebody gave me access, and I have I believe my contact list of ponds in Tallahassee, and every single person I have contact, because there's only 5 public bodies of water about in Tallahassee that actually have like a decent chance of maybe catching a fish. So that's super tough. In South Florida, though, there's no shot. Like, you're getting kicked out of anywhere, which is why I don't really like to go down there, because I don't deal with confrontation well. I'm pretty introverted, I would say, in like on video and stuff like that. But as soon as I'm like in a social setting where especially if somebody's mad at me, I don't like it at all. Like, I don't like group settings. I just like hanging with me and my friends. I'm extroverted as soon as somebody I don't know is involved. It's like, so I try to not trespass as much as possible. Actually, like, never, unless like maybe I didn't realize like we're on a road trip and there's no signs, but somehow it's like city property or something, which has happened like maybe twice in the last 4 years, which is not too much considering all the spots that we go to.
Right. I got you. Well, since we're on kind of the topic of relationships among people, what explain to me the process a little bit of, building relationships with other people and the importance of that, whether it be through the YouTube industry or, people in general, how that can is it an advantage to you? How have you built relationships? How have you gotten in contact with people, that Gary Vee is established on this a lot. I'm sure that you've watched his stuff, but how do you value relationships? How do you get into contact with people that you want? What are the importance of it?
I would say like collaboration is huge. It's an absolute game
Right.
changer. Obviously the Google Squads was the first to do it, and they all collaborated together. And obviously they're here for a reason. It was by no means luck. It was a ton of skill on both social media and also on the business side of understanding everything that goes on. But my whole thing, and actually Catch 'em All, I knew him before he had a YouTube channel, and he told me something that kind of stuck with me. And it was like, always focus on your brand and doing the best that you can before you focus on anything like sponsorships, any of that stuff, because the time you spend trying to get sponsors and trying to meet people, I guess, you could be spending making really cool content for yourself, and then the same people that want to that you wanted to film with before, or you wanted to sponsor you before, are now messaging you, asking you if they can sponsor or if they can go fishing with you. And that's kind of been something that I've been, especially the past few months, is trying to make the most high quality and the best videos I can possibly make. A lot of people reaching out is absolutely insane because they see the work you're putting in, and naturally people doing great things attracts other people doing great things, whether that's a sponsor, whether that's another YouTuber you can collaborate with. Normally the better you do and the better people you can surround yourself with, obviously you're going to go up. Even if the tide goes up, you're still going up with everybody else that's going up if you surround yourself with good people.
I got you. No, that's perfect. I love that. All right. So just to wrap up the last topic of the podcast, because we're coming to our ending time, something that, young anglers or, inspired content creators want is sponsors. How to, make money besides your normal ad revenue or other ways you make money, different brand deals and things like that. What, talk to us a little bit about how you either attract sponsors, get sponsors, things like that in order to still support your YouTube videos, with your other AdSense.
It's I'm gonna make a weird analogy here that I just thought of on the spot. Why would your job say you work at Publix, why would they pay you as a grocery bagger if you didn't bag the groceries? Or why would a restaurant pay you to flip burgers if you're not flipping the burgers? It's kind of if you want sponsors to pay you for something, you have to be doing something. And that doesn't necessarily, all that a sponsor would care about is how much can you sell, how many people are watching. You could catch all the biggest bass in the whole entire world, but if you don't have a following, it doesn't really, they're never going to want to work with you, because the only reason companies sponsor people is so that they can push your product to more people. And so the biggest thing is to not worry about sponsors when you're smaller and grind your social media platform up, and then the sponsors will automatically come to you and you'll never have to message a single one. I don't think to date I've ever had a sponsorship that I've messaged the person first. It's all been through. An important thing is just to leave your email in your YouTube description or in your Instagram, and a lot of times they'll message you that way, because it's way harder to get somebody to pay you for a sponsorship by asking them to pay you, and it's way easier to get them to pay you if they ask you if they can pay you, if that makes sense. So
no, perfect sense.
Yeah
100%. Well, Norm, we appreciate you joining the Southern Lore podcast.
Of course, man. Thanks for having me. I probably was all over the place.
No,
we might have to do another podcast again when I'm running on 6 to 8 hours of sleep instead of 45 minutes, which would be probably in January or February.
No, 100%. We'd love to have you as a guest on another time. But honestly, this was probably one of the best podcasts we've ever had. Right, Griff? Am I right? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of people, including
Yeah.
Claire, and I mean, this was by
100%.
far like
Thanks.
the
I don't.
funniest one and
Am I
most
actually good?
chillax one that I've
Because
had.
I have no clue. Like, if what I was saying made any sense, because it's been a couple weeks, like daily videos.
Oh, dude, you should just go ahead
I
and
mean,
start your
100%.
podcast, man. Just go ahead and
take
just.
over and tell some story that made no sense for like that.
No, dude,
But
like honestly, it was very in-depth and good. Not only
Yeah.
fishing and content creation, but life lessons, taking stand for yourself, doing
Yeah.
what you want. I think that's one of the most important things, period. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But we appreciate you joining. Guys, make sure you go subscribe to Norm at Fishing with Norm on YouTube, at Fishing with Norm on TikTok, Instagram.
Yep.
Go give him a follow. But Norm, we appreciate you joining the TSLP tonight. So we'll we'd love to have you on as a guest in the future, and I appreciate you for joining.
That'd be awesome. You guys got any more questions? Because I'm just procrastinating editing this video right now. If you really have anything else, I'm actually having fun. Like, this is awesome. I have to go edit like a whole tackle vlog right now, and I so badly just kind of want to let. I'm down here for long enough. Maybe we'll start
it. Well, Norm, we appreciate you, brother.
Yeah, thanks, man.
All right,
Keep it up on all your stuff too, guys. Subscribe to Zuggy right now if you're not. Like, what are you doing?
Thank you, Norm. I appreciate you, dude. All right, that's the Southern Lore Podcast with Fishing with Norm. We're signing out.